Good morning, dear friends. Today we are going to read about a sonnet, The Word is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. This is a sonnet by English romantic poet William Wordsworth. In it, Wordsworth criticizes the word of the first industrial revolution for being observed in materialism and distancing itself from nature. Composed circa 1802, the poem was first published in Poems in two volumes in 1807. Like the most Italian sonnets, its 14 lines are written in iambic pentameter. हमने ऑलरेडी iambic pentameter क्या होता है इसके बारे में डिस्कस कर लिया है. In the early 19th century, Wordsworth wrote several sonnets blasting what he perceived as the decadent material cynicism of the time. The Word is Too Much with Us is one of those works. It reflects his view that humanity must get in touch with nature to progress spirituality. The rhyme scheme of this poem is A B B A A B B A C D C D C D. हमने राइम स्कीम किस तरह से लगाई जाती है वो ऑलरेडी प्रीवियस वीडियोस में डिस्कस कर लिया है. दिस इटालियन और पेट्रार्कन सोनेट चूजेस द लास्ट लाइन्स sestet to answer the first 8 lines octave. The first 8 lines octave are the problems and the next 6 lines sestet are the solutions. Summary. On the beautiful evening, the speaker thinks that the time is quiet as a nun. And as the sun sinks down on the horizon, the gentleness of heaven broods o'er the sea. The sound of the ocean makes the speakers think that the mighty being is awake and the sound of the ocean makes the speaker think that the mighty being is awake and with his eternal emotion raising an everlasting sound like thunder. The speaker then addresses the young girl who walks with him by the sun and tells her that thou she appears untouched by the solemn thought that he himself is gripped by. Her nature is still divine, he says, that she worships in the temple is inner shrine merely by being, and the God is with thee when he know it. The theme of the word is too much with is that humankind has forsaken the soul and individuality for money and material gain. By rejecting a connection to nature which enriches the soul, people have lost sight of the true meaning and purpose of the human existence. A great lover of nature, William Wordsworth often wrote his poetry while out on walks in the countryside where it was peaceful and he could enjoy the loneliness of the world. He chose the sonnet form for this poem because of its order and discipline and rhetorical force, feeling that this form was appropriate to express his strong moral sentiment. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers, little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. In these lines, Wordsworth denounces the materialism that he has observed in people after the Industrial Revolution. For this, for everything we are out of tune, this belief in materialism, Wordsworth feels, prevents people from realizing the true meaning and purpose of life. The speaker of this poem declares that he would rather be a pagan who worship nature in a creed or form, then be someone who embraces spirituality, empty materialism, at least as a pagan. There is a joy and a spiritual enrichment in the communion with the beauty and life of the world. Line to line explanation of this poem. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending will have waste our powers. The poem opens with a complaint saying that the world is out of whack and that people are destroying themselves with the consumerism, getting and spending. The word is too much with us sounds odd and could mean several things. It could mean that the word life in the city, contemporary society is just too much, as this is too much for me and I cannot take it anymore. The word might refer to the natural world instead of the city, in which case it would mean that humanity is so busy that they don't have time for natural world because it is too much. It could also mean mankind or society is a burden on the world, as in there is not enough space for both man and the earth, or mankind has upset a delicate balance. Late and soon is a strange phrase. It could mean sooner or later. Or it could mean we have done this recently in the past and will do it in the future as well. Little we see in nature that is ours, we have given our hearts away a sordid wool. The poem is tone of complaint continues as the speaker describes a rift between nature and humanity. We get a potential clue as the identity of at least one of those powers described in lines 2, the ability to feel, which we have lost because we have given our hearts away. The phrase little we see in nature that is ours is tricky and calm means several related things. We have become so absorbed in consumerism. In another word, that we have no longer seems a part of nature. Alternatively, nature can't be got or spent because it is not a commodity that is manufactured, so it does not seem like it has anything to offer us. A boon is a reward, a benefit, or something for which to be thankful. Sordid means base or vile. The speaker is being sarcastic here, almost as if he was saying, "Wow, it is so great that we have handed over our hearts not." This sea, the bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. The poet elaborates on man's alienation from nature, claiming that humanity is no longer susceptible to the influence of the sea, the winds, and basically everything else in nature. Tune is interesting. It can mean out of tune in the sense that we have out of touch with nature, but it also suggests something like attuned. The sea is not literally taking her shirt off her. The speaker is elegantly describing the ways in which ocean tides are affected by the moon, or just how the sea appears to be in relationship with the moon. The speaker describes the winds at rest, their sleeping flowers that will howl when they wake up. Wait a minute, flowers? Howling? Weird. For is more complicated than it looks. It can mean both that we are not in the right tune for natural world, in the right frame of mind to get it. It could also mean because, as in because of these things we are out of tune. The plot thinkens. It moves us not, great God. I would rather be a pagan suckle in a creed of form. In some sonnets, including this one, important things happen in the ninth lines. There is a shift or turn that moves the poem is in another direction. While the speaker reiterate the claim he has been making all along, humanity and nature are alienated from one another. He tells us how he wishes things were, at least for him personally. He appeals to the Christian God and says he would rather be a pagan, was raised believing in some antiquated primitive religion. To wish to be a pagan in 1807 when the poem was published would be like saying, I wish I could wear clothes or do things that were in fashion a thousand years ago. Wait a second, he would rather be a pagan than what? Than someone who is not moved by nature's impulses. Chuck just means nurse at the breast. So might I, standing on the pleasantly, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. The speaker explains why he would rather be a pagan if he were. Then he could look at the land in front of him and see something that would not make him feel so lonely and sad. A lea is a meadow or open grassland. Wait a second, was not the speaker just telling us about this sea? How did we get to the meadow? Maybe he is standing in a meadow or looking the sea. The speaker wants glimpses of something, but we don't know what. He suggests that if he were a pagan, he would also see things in snatches for a brief moment, in the blinks of an eye, and this is not even guaranteed. He says he might have glimpses, have sight of Proteus. The speaker elaborates on those potential glimpses. He says he might see Proteus coming out of the ocean or Triton blowing his horn. Proteus is a sea god in Greek mythology. He had the ability to prophesy the future, but did not like doing it. If someone grabbed a hold of him and tried to make him predict the future, he would change his shape and try to get away. Triton was the son of Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea. He had a conch shell that he blew into in order to excite or claim the waves.